Well, hello everyone, and can you believe that it's already time for week four? Um, in week four, we're going to be looking at respect. Now, respect is not just another principle alongside honesty or rigor or transparency or fairness, which we've already looked at. Respect really is the foundation that underpins all of these things. And without respect for people, and animals, and for the environment, research really loses its ethical grounding and its trustworthiness. But before I talk more about that, I just want to encourage you to check in with the Q&A session that we had late last week, because there's been some really fantastic discussion there, particularly around authorship. We spent quite a lot of time talking about authorship. So if you weren't able to make it, I really encourage you to take a look. And if you did make it, thanks for coming and for contributing to such an interesting chat. I really, really enjoyed seeing you, if not in person, then at least on the screen. So, in everyday life, respect means recognizing the value of others. It means treating people with dignity, appreciating differences, even when we don't agree. And in research, these meanings, these definitions are actually deepened because respect requires us to take special care when we ask others, often strangers, to share something of themselves with us, which is basically what we do when we're inviting people to participate in research. We ask them to share something of themselves with us. And this might be through interviews, it might be through observations, it might be through tissue donation, it might be allowing us access to private or personal information. And it also extends beyond people. This includes, or respect includes the way we treat animals and how we minimize the impact of our work on the environment. So there are three expectations set out in the Australian Code. One is around humans, and it's about treating human participants with care, fairness, and due consideration, especially if they're vulnerable or marginalised. Two is about animals and making sure that animals used in research are treated with compassion and only used when it's absolutely necessary, applying the principles of replacement, reduction, and refinement. And three is about the environment. It's about minimizing the adverse effects of research on the environment and recognizing our responsibility to safeguard the world that we all share. So, respect also means ensuring that participation is always voluntary, that people understand what they are agreeing to. And if you've ever been through an ethics approval process, this means lots and lots of paperwork and adding lots and lots of details to things like a participant information sheet, providing details about how you're going to recruit, whether you're going to remunerate people for taking part. All of these things boil down to an understanding of the voluntary nature of research. And so they might feel tedious when you're writing them, and it might feel like it would be a lot quicker not to have to do it. But when you're experiencing that, I encourage you to come back to these fundamental principles of what they mean. They mean respecting privacy and confidentiality, upholding cultural sensitivities, especially obviously when working with Indigenous communities, and returning research outcomes to participants in meaningful ways. So we're not just taking. When people give us something of themselves, we also give back. And one of the ways to do that is through simply sharing your research through a report or a video or conferences, and making sure that people who participated in the communities that are being studied or who are contributing in some way are also receiving something in return. So we're going to have a look at respect through the lens of two scenarios that bring these ideas to life. One asks you to think through the steps an international student must take to ensure her research with marsupials and Indigenous ranges is conducted respectfully. So a really interesting scenario there. And the other looks at how two colleagues leading a project on urban waterways need to demonstrate respect not only for the environment, but also for their students and collaborators. So the scenarios are designed to give you lots of opportunities to reflect on the many layers of respect in research, from planning to fieldwork to supervision and all of those other, those three aspects that are present in the code that I mentioned earlier. So by the end of this week, you should feel more confident about recognizing what respect looks like in practice and how to apply it in your research. And this includes respecting human rights, cultural values, animal welfare, environmental sustainability, as well as carrying and embodying these principles, bringing them along with you into your workplaces and your professional relationships. So, as always, I encourage you to share your thoughts in the discussion, comment on other people's contributions. Don't forget to complete the quiz. That'll mean you can keep progressing and it'll consolidate your learning. And that's it. Let's begin. Let's think about respect this week, the principle that holds research integrity together and ensures that the work we do honors people, animals, and the world that it touches.